IZTV Cleveland. Stay tuned for high school football next.
Welcome to Friday Night Football. In tonight's game, the host Wolverines of West Jaga will send their high-powered offense, who are averaging 34 points per game this year, against the last year Chagrin Valley Conference champion Comets of Solon, whose defense has given up only 12 points, and that's in 4 games. Hi, everyone. Mike Massa, and welcome again. What a great game we've got in store for you. The newspapers, that's Zon Friedman and Dick Zunt, have said it's the game of the week, and we agree. In fact, it's been that way for the last 3 years. 3 years ago, we were here. Last year, we were at Solon. Now we're back here at West Jaga. And gentlemen, the 2 superintendents in these fine school systems, we've got to stop meeting like this. This is terrible. Frank Mulvaney, who's from Solon. What a game you got in store for us.
Thank you, Mike. Yes, I think it'll be a great game tonight. Great game.
And Bernie, you're a man who's sat in a number of athletic chairs, and we got everything going for us. Great weather and great records and just super football.
Thanks, Mike. We hope we can make it perfect tonight all the way.
You know, before we started this, Frank said he thought you should be the same perfect host you were last year.
Well, we're going to try not to be, really. We'd like to see if we can come up with one for a change.
Frank, what does a game like this mean to a community out here at West Jaga going against Solon?
Everything, really. You'll be amazed. We'll probably have 4,500 people here tonight. And everyone in our community looks forward to Friday nights at home because we always have a good crowd. As a matter of fact, we have a good crowd when we go away. And more than likely, even when we go away, we'll have more fans than our opponents will. And our people really love football, and they look forward to it every Friday night.
Well, you've got a great program going here, and the football at Solon in the last few years has really come up, Frank. Jack Ruvalo came out there, and the last 3 years, he's done a super job out there, and your community just seems to be so involved. Everyone talks about the football team.
Yes, Mike. Ruvalo has done a great job at Solon. We've come a long way the last few years. Great team.
You know, not a few years back when we were talking, you were talking about a bond issue you had up, which is a building program. And following it, we find out that your citizenry said, yes, we believe in our school system, and they passed that. And you've got quite a building program going out there.
Yes, Mike. Within 2 years now, we'll have a new gym and a new swimming pool. We're very proud of that, and the community supported it. The Board of Education worked hard for it, and we're very proud. And we'll have this new facility.
Well, because we do high school basketball, let me ask you, what's the seating capacity of that gym going to be?
I think it'll be about 2,300, which is about twice what we have now, yes.
Well, that's a great size. Anything else you're going to be doing with some of those bond dollars?
Well, that's for the bond issue. We do have a capital improvement levy, and then we're building a new music facility to the Orchard Middle School, and this is needed for the 5th and 6th grade level, and we think it'll improve our program a lot.
You're very fortunate. So many school systems have their levies and their bond issues going down to defeat, but they've supported you.
Yes, we've had tremendous support, and we're concerned a little about the future and with inflation, with our operating monies, but we're trying to save and conserve as much as we can for the future.
Something out here, you're sitting as a superintendent, and you don't have any real problems of putting any issues up this year, do you, Bernie?
No, we do not have any issues coming up this fall. We are in need, however, of some things. We'd love to have that swimming pool and gymnasium that they're building over there at Solon. As a matter of fact, we'll probably guarantee Mr. Mulvaney here that we'll fill that basketball auditorium on our first game with Solon, I'm sure. But we have a needs assessment committee, which is a group of citizens that are surveying our school district at present. And we are going to see what our real needs are as far as the citizens in this community say they are. And we're trying to get some input from the people in the community so that perhaps they can help us also.
Seems to be the trend in education today that the people who are supporting your schools have to become involved in making some of those decisions.
Yes, we believe that. We have, as a matter of fact, presently I've been working with 2 adult groups, which I call a communication committee, which we've been having various parents in from all of our school-affiliated clubs and organizations, and then we have the Needs Assessment Committee also. And I think it's a very important part of schools today to involve as many people as you possibly can.
Bernie, one of the big problems, and I guess, Frank, I could even address you to the same question. Maybe I'll give you each a chance to answer it. One of the problems in society with young people seems to be the drug and alcohol, and the responsibility maybe of home and school and church to try and unite to try and curb this. Is this part of the programs you've got going?
Yes, I think Solon and both West Geauga are involved with the Greater Cleveland superintendents in a program which is called CARE, which is involved every school district, we hope, in the Greater Cleveland area to try to do something to curb the usage of drugs and alcohol. And we at West Geauga have started this year a program what we call peer counseling. And we have a group of some 25 students that are interested in this. They've attended seminars all summer long, and they will in turn counsel their own peers, which are fellow students in high school themselves. If they're having a problem, we hope that they'd feel free to walk in and talk to any one of the peer counselors and get some help.
That sounds great. Something I heard about your program there at Solon, Frank, is just a little unique. You're starting your program a little earlier, aren't you?
Well, we've revised our health program, and we're going into the elementary schools, and we're trying to attack it from the substance abuse and to teach children at an early age the harmful effects of drugs. And we think this is the way to go about it. Start out at a very young age and teach us that it is wrong, and that's what we're doing.
Well, worthwhile things, because I think it takes all the institutions. Not everyone can play football. If they were playing football, you wouldn't have those kind of problems, but they all can't be involved. But there are a lot of other programs you've got. Some of the co-curriculars you've got going in the Solon school system. Your athletic program and the music. As a matter of fact, I understand in that bond issue you're going to even improve your musical facilities because it's growing so rapidly.
Well, we are. As I mentioned, we're adding an addition to Orchard Middle School that we have over 100 students signed up for 5th grade band this year, and we think that's tremendous. But we'll have a new facility probably by January this year for the grades 5 and 6. And this is what we've needed for quite a few years now, and we're able to do that. We're very pleased. The community has supported that.
That's great. Last year when I was talking to you, Frank, you talked to something about, and we were at your field, and you pointed to an area that acres of land you were able to purchase at the school system, and now you've got the community involved in that too, I understand.
Yes, well, as recently as last Monday, Mike, the board entered an agreement with the city to develop 25 acres of that 111 acres we have. The board purchased it for the future, and we're going to use 25 acres of it for recreation in the future. And the city and the schools will cooperate on that project. And we're also using 25 acres of that for an environmental studies program. We'll have an outdoor lab. We'll still have some 50 acres for future use. And we've got that programmed into the year 2000, which isn't that far away, really, 20 years. So it's getting around to that time.
You know, you're talking about all this building, yet population seems to be going down in all the schools. People even talking about closing them. Although I know that Solon has got the capacity for great population growth.
Well, that's it, Mike. We're only about a third developed, so there is potential there, and that's why the board decided to go ahead with this purchasing the land. And so we're about, as I say, about a third developed, and we have a long way to go. Now, our population and the school population is staying about the same. We haven't gained any the last couple of years. We're about the same as we were last year. We have not dropped any. So we'll be within 10 students of what we had last year.
Solon has room for growth, but I guess we've got to say the same thing about West G.
We do have a lot of room for growth. On the other hand, at present time, we are losing in student enrollment. We've had a decline this year of approximately 150 students. Now, that's really, I guess you might say, from top to bottom. We graduated 350 seniors, and we only took in 200 kindergarten pupils. So consequently, the growth is with the population. This is highly possible within the next 3 years. If enrollment trends do not change or pick back up, we possibly could be closing one of our elementary schools.
West Geauga?
We have a number of curriculum changes, particularly in the elementary. We have increased our student participation with health and physical education. We've added within the last 2 years an elementary art program. We've also added a year ago a program for the gifted. So we're always on the move.
Yeah, I guess you are. Any curriculum changes over there at Solon, Frank?
Well, Mike, as I mentioned, we're revising our health program. We also are changing our math program a little. We're studying all of our curricular areas every 5 years. We are on a cycle 5-year plan. And we do have a gifted program that we've expanded some, and we've had that now for about 3 years. Been very successful with it. We're trying to keep our advanced placement program at the high school, and we think that's working out real well. So we're keeping abreast of all the curricular changes.
You know, one of the things I used to see not too many years ago is all the curriculum changes were made right now. And sometimes I wonder whether enough thought went into some of those changes, where now people are taking 3 and 4 and 5 years to study it, make sure it's going to work, as opposed to exposing youngsters to programs that might not be too successful.
Yeah, that's true, Mike. And we've never been out in the forefront that far in Solon. We've been with the basics. People talk about getting back to the basics, and I don't think we ever left them in Solon. I think we've been there.
Well, I think you can be congratulated on that. The other thing I want you to know, we talked about the involvement in the communities, and Frank, I want to show you what a bunch of 5th graders decided that they wanted to go Wolverines. Get a load of that sign. 5th graders making those and selling those. Let's make sure they get a close. Go Wolverines. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for being our guest.
Thank you, Mike. I'd just like to say that we're very fortunate in this Chagrin Valley League. We have all great schools, and it's a good community, good place to live and to raise children.
I think you're right. Even just driving out here, you can sort of feel it. But you gentlemen have been congratulated, and thank you so much for being our guest.
I agree
100%. Thank you, Ernie. Be good.
Thank you.
Frank, thank you. So the superintendents of West Geauga and Solon. And now let's call in Brian Powers, our analyst. And we talked about a lot of things with the superintendents, and they did talk about some football. And we said it was going to be the game of the week. And I think this has got all the ingredients of being a Super Bowl game. Tough defense, good offense, guys who know where the goal line is. Let's take them one at a time. Solon, who was won a conference last year, coming back defending champion. 4-0 right now, giving up only 3 points a ball game and scoring something like plus 20 per game.
Yeah, their offense is potent. They've got over 90 points in their 4 ball games and have only given up something like close to 30 points. So they're strong offensively and defensively. It's a football team that's pretty basic. And I think this year they're going to go with Amundsen, the fullback or tailback. You never know what's going to be tonight.
You don't know where anyone's going to be.
Yeah, they're going to be all over, but it's pretty solid, and they're going to give him the ball probably 3 out of 5 plays are going to be pretty much to him. If they're consistent with what they've done in 4 ball games, and they almost have to be because he has carried that ball, and he's up there with about 555 yards in 4 ball games. So you know right there that's going to be a strong part of the offense. Quarterbacking has been good. Mitchell was hurt 1 game against Bedford, it was, when he was a little bit sick and didn't play, so his stats aren't up there as high as maybe they'd be with 4 ball games passing, but capable. And the other backs will carry the ball, move it around, so they should have enough offense to show you, but I think you have to come back to the name Brant Amundsen to see this football game.
That multiple offense that the Comets are using, where they've always got someone in motion, you never know who it's going to be. It could be, Flores, or it could be anyone. And you've got Edmondson and tailback and fullback. What's that got to do with the defensive coordinator for West Geauga?
Well, for the defensive coordinator, he was worried last weekend after he saw them. His worry, he hopes might be over with tonight, but it's tough. He's got a lot to do with his ball club. When you're playing 6-man front, 4-man front, whatever you want to call it, to be an even defense for West G, your linebackers have to be seniors. They have to know what the football game is about defensively. Anytime a team comes up with different sets, and Solon will do it. They'll go to a full house tee, which means they're tightening up somewhat with the linebackers. They'll go out with the short flanker, with the long, with the split end. So you just have to know it. Although kids today in the football programs such as Solon and West Geauga have been brought up through good football programs with the good coaching. They have the fundamentals. They get honed in their sophomore and junior year, and the defensive coordinator then can establish a few things, and they will remember it. It's amazing today to see the way kids will react and call out defensive sets.
You know, the thing that's got to amaze me is a linebacker. You think all 4 would want to, and almost psychologically start keying on Edmondson. He's going to carry you 20 times a ball game.
And they probably are. And I think you're going to see penetrating linebackers tonight. You're going to see 8 men up there pretty tight. You're going to see 8 men moving into the ball. You're going to see some veers, and you'll see a little bit more, I think, of more intensity up around the line of linebackers than we've seen in our previous games this year. Otherwise, it might be open a little bit to throw out in the flats, and Solon may have to take advantage of that.
All right, let's take a look. We just talked about the defense of West G. Let's take a look at the offense. They're averaging, what, 34 points a ball game?
Oh, they are strong. They're going with Dave Carnaccione, their fine halfback, has a little bit over 600 yards already in 4 ball games. He also can find that goal line. He has 6 TDs.
And he's only 5'7".
And he's strong. And he's 5'7". He played last year. He played most of last year, although he alternated a little bit at the tailback spot. But then you have Jim Pott at the fullback. Right. He is a tough ball player. He's as hard-nosed as they come in a game of football, and he's going to come up. This is one thing that West G has, is this double offensive edge there with the fullback and the tailback, and they've really used it to good advantage. Last Saturday night, I understand I didn't get to see the game, but they were just so strong against a good Orange ball club that they were just going inside and outside and hitting it. And, of course, they have a veteran quarterback. DeGaetano is a strong quarterback, and they have a lot of offense and a lot of different looks. They are a super strong football team, and if anything, they probably are a little bit favored tonight.
All right, they can hurt you a lot of ways. What's the defensive coordinator for Solon going to have to do to try to stop that multiple offense?
Okay, he's going to go with his 5-2. We know that. We talked to him before the game. I don't think they're going to change their 5-2. But one thing I think probably they might do is the men off the line a little bit, their 5-man line. They're going to have to be a little bit softer at the tackles. They're going to have to play it hard, but they're going to have to be off the line a little bit. That's one of the things he can do, because Carnaccione, when he hits a line and slides so fast, and Potts comes at you fast, you either have one way of going all the way with your strength or playing it off. I believe they're going to play it off tonight. That's what they're going to do in 5-2. They have 7 men that are exceptionally strong, and of course Nazek back in the defensive secondary with 3 interceptions kind of handles that type of perimeter passing, so they think they have a good defensive football team.
Well, we got everything going for us. I mentioned that the offense of West G, 34 points a ball game, but they've only given up 13 points a ball game, and I think only 2 touchdowns against their first defensive unit, because they've been able to use so many ball players because of the scores they've been able to run up.
The thing I think we should mention, Mike, I don't know if you did with the superintendents, the unbalanced line for West G. They will go unbalanced to the right, and that's something different, and probably the only time our fans will get to see it. They'll have the extra man, the inside and outside tackle, on the right side of the center, so you'll see an extra man out there. That adds to their power running. They'll go that way, and then they'll counter off to the weak side when you over-rotate, so that gives it a little bit of a twist. That's another thing defensively Solon has to plan for.
I opened up saying it's offense against defense. It really is not. It's 2 great offenses against 2 great defenses. So the Comets will be facing the Wolverines, which could be close to the title game here in the Chagrin Valley Conference. They've got 3 undefeated teams. Kensington's the other one.
Oh, yeah, it's a good league, good brand of football.
Super.
A lot of fun.
And okay, big game of the week, and Brian, I'll be back with the kickoff of that game. But first, let's take this time out.
Watch the premiere of Doctor Who Monday, October 6th at 7. Nova presents the second of a 2-part program looking at sports medicine and how it promises to cure many sports-related problems. Watch All Part of the Game Saturday at 5. WVIZ TV 25, Cleveland.